So I'm not sure where this came from. I honestly blame this frame because there is no other reason. In 2024, we are underestimating the power of the Ghost Rider. But man, have I seen a lot of y'all putting him with the likes of Spider-Man. Spider-Man, bruh. Some of y'all saying Hulk and Superman. Like he's not beyond being punched and kicked really hard. Maybe when it comes to Johnny Blaze, sure. Alright, we've seen him get cooked physically a few times. But almost every time he loses or relinquishes control to Zarathos, the spirit of vengeance, he has been unstoppable. We gotta talk about some of the things Ghost Rider has been able to do throughout the years. But first, we really gotta distinguish how these powers work. Okay, we've got Johnny Blaze in control of the powers of the Ghost Rider, and in this state, he is incredibly nerfed. We have seen this stated in Ghost Rider Vicious Cycle number 6, where he's fighting the Lucifer, and he says himself, if I'm gonna have any chance against you, Lucifer, any chance of taking you back to hell once and for all, I gotta go at it full throttle. I gotta let it out. And once he gives control to the Ghost Rider, we see the devil himself say, Johnny's not here, is he? And as Satan keeps making jokes about how fun it was to fight Johnny, we see his face completely change because it's not sweet, and Ghost Rider completely obliterates this body of Lucifer. Now I say this body just because the whole Vicious Cycle thing, he's actually hunting down Lucifer as he goes body to body and slowly gains power, and we see later on in these comics, Johnny himself says that he needs to let Ghost Rider handle this because he himself cannot defeat Lucifer and he never will. And in Vicious Cycle number 13, we see Doctor Strange himself say, the Ghost Rider's powers are for most intents and purposes boundless, godlike. However, I sense that it is Johnny Blaze, not the Ghost Rider, who has chosen to engage in this battle. This is when Ghost Rider is fighting World War Hulk, and as I showed you guys before, Johnny gets absolutely stomped, literally. And here's the misconception I've seen a bunch when you guys keep bringing up these things like this, where we see Ghost Rider get cooked physically. This never ends the fight. This is always when Johnny is in control, gets mopped, and as you can see in the corner, Johnny Blaze controls the Ghost Rider no more. And believe it or not, this is an ongoing trend for years when it comes to Ghost Rider fights. Sure, Johnny Blaze might get cooked as the Ghost Rider, he just doesn't have that full control. Even during the fight, Ghost Rider himself is speaking to Johnny, telling him about the power he's not using. But Johnny wanted to do it his own way, he wanted to have mercy. But if you knock out Johnny, if you nearly kill Johnny, or if he himself realizes he cannot win, it does not end the fight when you take him out. Ghost Rider appears and ends the fight every time. And unfortunately for us as the reader, it sucks that he actually didn't fight World War Hulk because Hulk was innocent. Before this comic, we see Ghost Rider didn't even want to be here, and during the fight where Hulk tells him it's none of his concern, we see him actually agreeing with him inside of Johnny. So this is a fight we just didn't get to see. But in my personal opinion, there is quite literally nothing World War Hulk could have done to the Ghost Rider. But in yet another example of Johnny getting cooked and Ghost Rider handling business, Vicious Cycle number 3 shows Johnny, who's confused thinking that Doctor Strange is Lucifer. As I told you guys before, in these Vicious Cycle comics, he's hunting down Lucifer. So as he's confused, he continues to beat the hell out of Doctor Strange. But Doctor Strange is holding back, trying not to hurt his friend. But after continuing to get pummeled and he's not able to get through to Johnny because he's been fighting Lucifer this whole time, he just doesn't believe him, Doctor Strange snaps, loses his temper, and smashes Ghost Rider with a massive magical blast. A full power magical blast from Doctor Strange is cooking most of y'all favorites, but all it does to Ghost Rider is knock out Johnny. Now as we see Ghost Rider get up in full control, he's able to ensnare Doctor Strange immediately and one-shot him with the Penance Stare. Just like that, in 2 moves, the fight's completely over. He destroys Doctor Strange. And I'm not trying to dog Johnny too much, because with a little bit of trickery, with a little bit of help, he was still able to defeat Satan, who was at half power at the time, while he was in control and not when Ghost Rider was in control. Which is still a pretty good feat because as I've shown you guys already, Johnny Blaze as the Ghost Rider is incredibly nerfed, but he was still able to contend with Satan. Like, y'all really don't understand how strong the Ghost Rider is. We even saw Robbie Reyes do battle with the Star Brand and one-shot him with a Penance Stare. We have yet to see the upper limit of a Star Brand's power, and not only that, Robbie didn't even have full control of his powers and didn't even understand what he was doing, and he was still able to beat Star Brand. We even see, because of the fight with Starbrand, a drunk and enraged Odin goes to attack Robbie. Robbie is able to take multiple hits from an enraged Odin, and to a degree is able to hold his own, but he is gonna lose and he has to hurry up and explain himself before Odin kills him. And I keep bringing up Robbie because this is a rookie Ghost Rider, still getting used to his abilities, getting into scuffles with Starbrand and Odin the Allfather. This is how powerful a Ghost Rider is. Hell, after this fight, Odin explains to him what a Ghost Rider is and some of the things they've done for the millions of years there have been Ghost Riders. Robbie is new to this, and he just survived a scuffle with a drunk, enraged Odin. But I've seen y'all put him on the level of Spider-Man. What happened? How are we underestimating Ghost Rider this much? But to get back to Johnny and his spirit of vengeance, back in Uncanny Avengers #1, we see Mojo mess with the Ghost Rider's mind, believing that it's created an offspring. So he loses his mind and goes on a warpath against everything and everyone. We even see Scarlet Witch explain that because of what Mojo did, Ghost Rider believes he's got some demonic offspring, and Johnny Blaze's influence has completely been shut down. He has unleashed the full power of the Ghost Rider on this world. And pretty much confirming what I've said throughout the entire video, we see Blade also say that Mojo will have no reality to film if there's not a human consciousness to temper and direct Ghost Rider. Because again, as long as the human person is in control, the Ghost Rider is incredibly nerfed and actually can have a control over its overwhelming and boundless abilities. But when Johnny's shut down, when the host is gone, Ghost Rider is completely unstoppable, and we actually see this because the Avengers do their best to try and stop him, and they fail miserably. And it's not like this isn't an incredibly stacked team going up against the full power Ghost Rider as he continues to swat them all away. Hell, Man-Thing actually tries to consume all of that agony and pain inside the Ghost Rider, and that doesn't even work. I mean, we have a whole host of magical and physical heroes here doing their absolute best against just the Ghost Rider, doing absolutely no damage. The only reason this fight even stops is because they hatch a master plan for Rogue to take the powers of the Ghost Rider, something I didn't think was possible, but that doesn't work either. Because although she does gain the abilities, we see Ghost Rider is simply continuing to take her over as she screams "Purge the Corrupt," and he's about to do the same exact thing in her body. There is nothing any of these people, Doctor Strange, not Thor, not Scarlet Witch, Satana, none of the big magical heavy hitters, none of the physical heavy hitters, nothing they did could actually stop Ghost Rider. The only reason the fight officially ends is because once we see that Ghost Rider is starting to take over Rogue's body too, Johnny willingly takes the curse back, regaining control, being the main consciousness of the Ghost Rider, and the fight officially ends. And I'm even more excited as a Ghost Rider fan because I believe next year we're getting a Ghost Rider vs. Galactus comic. So I can't wait to see how that actually happens and who wins, but I just needed to make this video because I've seen too much downplay of the Ghost Rider. And I personally believe it's because people don't understand the relationship between Johnny and the Ghost Rider, and just how much weaker Ghost Rider is when Johnny's in control. So when you make these lists and these debates and you put Ghost Rider on there, ask yourself, even if your favorite character can cook Johnny, which is probably likely, he can't take the damage Ghost Rider can actually take. Can they really deal with what comes after? Because that's never the end of the fight. What can they do once they actually take out Johnny? Because I highly doubt any of your favorites can take on the full power of the Ghost Rider, a boundless godlike being consistently shown to be one of Marvel's heaviest hitters. Your favorite character that can punch really hard and move really fast is not on the level of the Spirit of Vengeance.